Okay, so this is going to be a really quick review video, but I figured I'd make this for any of you who are interested in smart bulbs. Now this is the Merkury, hold on, I got the box. From Merkury Innovations. It's the Smart Wi-Fi LED bulb, color and white. It says it's a 75 watt equivalent. Brightness says it's 1050 lumens and all of that jazz. An A21 bulb, 11 watt LED, all that jazz. Now, this you can get at Walmart. And the reason I tried these out, I haven't tried out any other smart lights before. I've wanted to. I really want some Philips Hue stuff, but sometimes you got to ball on a budget. And so I was like, let me go try these out. They work with ALEXA and with Google Assistant and all that sort of stuff. They come with their own app as well that you can get for these. I've had it for a couple months. I put one in a couple months ago in this light overhead. I would like to point out, it is no longer in the light overhead. But we'll get to that. Some positive on it, it was pretty easy to set up. The app is called Genie. Pretty easy to set up. You can find it pretty quickly and get in here. You've got some options. Let me go ahead and I think, is this the one? That's the one. So you've got some options on what you can do in here. It's got smart scenes that you can do with it that I haven't set any up, as you can see. It's got brightness control in here. You can see that. Controlling from the app. 1% all the way up to 100%. You can also do color with it. So it's got color options as well. So can you guys see that color changing? There you go. So it's got color options. And like I said, it works with ALEXA. And so I've had it in my office for a while now. My biggest complaint has been that my office has been relatively dark. I didn't feel like it was bright enough, and so I had, another studio light in here that I would turn on to just give me some more ambient light in here, because I was kind of getting annoyed with how dark it was in here. But that doesn't make sense. I should just be able to have a light bulb in and do what I need it to do. So just the other day, probably about 3 or 4 days ago, I had a second one that I hadn't been using anywhere. So I put it in overhead as well. And once again, just as easy to set up, gave me all the same type of things going along with it. Worked with ALEXA, no problem, all of that. And when I turned them both on, I felt like I had a good quality level of light in here in my office. And then something started happening. The lights started freaking out. Now they work over Wi-Fi with a 2.4 gigahertz Wi-Fi. My router is not the strongest router, so this may be the problem, but I hadn't had this issue till I put them both in. They just randomly would flash and turn themselves off. Even the one that had been in there for a couple months, it would turn off. I'd be sitting here working and all of a sudden, all of my light turns off, or one of them turns off, half the room gets dark, and it was driving me crazy. I finally went to Walmart today and I just bought some regular old bulbs and stuck them up there so that I could have good quality light, and I got brighter ones. So it's automatically brighter in here, which I like. I feel like I have good quality light in here and I don't have to have anything else on. These were driving me nuts. Once I put in the second one, they just would not stay consistently on. So I took them out. I may use them independently in here as like accent lighting for if I'm doing any other videos. I have another channel where I talk about creative arts stuff for churches that you can find a link to. Is it here? Nope, it's here, I think. One of these two places, I'll put a link to that channel so you can check that out and what I'm doing there. So I may use these as accent lighting in the back. Right now I have it in one of those just IKEA little hanging things so I can, show it to you guys and show that it's red, and now that it's green-ish, teal, green. Yeah, and I mean, there's other little issues with it. I mean, The brightness control and stuff like that on here, and all of that, it's kind of janky. It doesn't respond super well, but none of that was really that important to me. It was when it all started to blink constantly, and man, it was like a strobe in here sometimes, where it would turn off and 2 seconds later it'd be back on, and then one of them would be out, and that was driving me nuts. So, but you get what you pay for. If you go to Walmart right now, let me turn that off. You can buy these bulbs for $12.88 a piece. So really, if you're just needing one in a space, in a lamp, things like that, my guess is that as long as they're not right, it may be something that they were right next to each other in the light above, or that I really just need to get stronger Wi-Fi. I don't know. Maybe I'll figure that out later. For $12.88, you can grab one of these and you can start to have some smart bulbs in your house. So it was worth the buy. Sorry, my dog is squeaking on her squeaker dragon. Worth the buy, worth checking it out. I'll use them other places. I may try them in the lamps in the living room and change the name on them and all that stuff. But as having them in my office here, they were not working out for me. I do at some point in time really do want to try the Philips Hue stuff. I've seen that work at an old company I used to work for. We had them in the studio, and those were pretty amazing. And I know Philips Hue is really nice, but it's also pricey. So this was worth checking out. Maybe I can figure out what's going on. If I figure out what's going on with these, I will update this video. But as for now, that's my review of them. $12.88, awesome. Blinking on and off all of the time, not awesome. Regular light bulbs until I figure out what to do instead. Merkury. Links in description, I think. As long as you can get them on Walmart.com, I'm sure. $12.88. Check them out if you want to. Try them out. Maybe you'll have more success with them than I did. Not bright enough. And freaking out above me. That's all.